So right now I'm taking my walk and I want to share a few signs that someone's envious of you. Because that's just one of the side effects of leveling up. Bitches be pressed, hoes be mad. I decided to come and film on this tree. I stumbled across this tree while walking and it's giving ambiance, it's giving aesthetics. Oh my god, it's ruining my bun. I just dyed my hair. This is not supposed to be out. Let's take a sip. Oh my god, the mosquitoes are like attracted to it. Fuck. If you're new to this channel, my name is Malaysia and I'm a certified life coach, a forager, a perfume maker, a goddess. And I love helping women to level up because when you level up yourself, when you level up your life, you attract elevated things to you. You naturally elevate those around you. The same way your existence will naturally trigger people just by existing is the same way your existence will uplift people and elevate people and inspire people just by existing when you level up. So if you're on that journey or you want to start your journey of leveling up your life, make sure to subscribe. And let's get into how to spot envious people. Because once you spot them out, it makes your life a lot easier. You can avoid them. You can know how to handle them. They can't ambush you with any surprises because these people, envious people, sometimes it's subconscious, but people who know they're envious, some of them are so insecure that they will make it their personal mission to ruin your reputation, to ruin your day, to bring you down. And we're not having that. One way I've noticed, and all these things are literally things that I've personally seen multiple times, it's a pattern with people I've seen who I've found out later on were envious. And some of these signs could mean that they just simply don't like you. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it's not that someone's envious, they just simply don't like you. But then again, some people who don't have a reason to not like you don't like you because they're envious. They don't like you because you trigger them. And they don't want to address why you trigger them because they don't want to own up to being envious of you. One side, oh my god, my hair. I need to like back up. I think this is better. But like, my bun is smushed. Do you guys like my natural hair? It's giving what it needs to give. I should wear it more, but I be liking my hair down sometimes. I be liking to whip it. I guess I could whip this. A sign that I've noticed of someone who's envious of you is they belittle you whenever you make mistakes. This is their opportunity to make themselves feel better than you, so they go the whole 9 yards with it. It could be the smallest mistake and they're like, you know, as if you're not human, as if they don't make mistakes as well. They've got to announce whenever you are slacking because that makes them feel better about themselves. They're going to take every opportunity they can to point out whenever you're at fault because to them, your default is perfect. You're Little Miss Perfect and now you're making a mistake. So let me, another sign that I've noticed when someone is envious of you is they make huge deals out of small things. And that could be the same situation. That could be the same scenario as the first way. But sometimes it's not a mistake. It's just something small. They'll make the hugest deal out of it, the same as they would when you make a mistake, like everyone else does, because we're only human. For an example, they'll see you do something and they will over exaggerate it and spread rumors about you doing that thing and over exaggerate it to paint you in a negative light so everyone sees you differently than the way you actually are, because the way you actually are is a threat. And through making big deals out of nothing, through pointing out all the little mistakes that everyone else makes, alleviates the burdens and stresses that they have when you walk in the room. They will make a huge deal out of you not saying hi to them in the morning. Like, you could be having the worst morning. You could be waking up with blood on your sheets because you forgot your period was coming. You could have woken up with the meanest freaking cramp, walking into work, not wanting to be there. And this woman over here is mad because you didn't say hi to her. Now she's talking junk to all her friends about how you think you're better than everyone, you're uppity, your head is too big because you don't want to say hi to anyone, you don't want to conversate with anyone. Blowing it completely out of proportion when you're just having a bad morning. You're just human. Like, y'all ain't never had a bad day where you don't want to say hi to someone? Y'all ain't never been in a bad mood? Can I not be sad? Do I have to be chipper all the time for you? When I'm having a bad day, that's how this works. Like, if you flip it and they would be looking at you crazy if you said something like that to them, there you go. Another sign that someone is envious of you is they assume the worst from you. This also, again, this could just mean that someone dislikes you, because if someone dislikes you and they hear a narrative or they see something, they're going to stretch it a mile long. They will simply see you talking to the boss, joking with the boss, and think that you're sleeping with him because you're hot. You must be sleeping with him because he's got a soft spot for you. When in reality, he has a soft spot for you because you look so good. In reality, he has a soft spot for you because maybe he does have a crush on you, but that doesn't mean you have a crush on him and you're sleeping with him. But they'll assume that. They'll assume that you're sleeping with the boss. They'll assume you're sleeping your way up the top because You're so pretty, you could. They'll see you dressing up and assume that you must be dressing up for a man. They'll theorize what man you must be dressing up for because they just can't conceptualize dressing up for yourself. That's like a foreign concept for a lot of envious people. They think you must be trying to steal someone's man. The delusions can really go as far as Mars when it comes to an envious person. And they will entertain those delusions. Some will even go as far as spread them as rumors. Another sign that someone is envious of you is they turn everything about you into a joke. I'm a super comedic person, but something I've noticed with everyone who low-key was envious of me, I've had some people admit that they were envious of me. And I would look back and remember them joking about every little differentiality about me. And not in a nice way, not laughing with me, but laughing at me. Like my different taste of music. It's like, oh, here she goes with that music again. Here you go with that music again. Like, we all got different tastes of music. Relax. Like, you can tell when someone's telling a joke when it's not coming from a loving place. It's coming from a hateful place. Like, oh, look at you. Here you go again with your heels. You're always wearing heels. She's always wearing heels. She's always dressing up. like you could just tell the energy of some jokes and it's coming from envy. So someone who's always turning the little quirks about you into a joke, and especially when they don't joke about anyone else in their life, it's just you. Everything you do is like so funny and weird because you're different. That's a sign that they're envious of you. Because we all have differentialities and there's no need to blow it out of proportion and make it seem like you're weird for being different. For what? For your amusement? For you to feel better about yourself because my differentiality triggers you? And I'm not saying everyone that jokes with you about your little quirks is a hater or is envious, but you can tell the way some people joke about you, where it's coming from. Like, they'll joke about and point out how you're not proficient in something that you don't even do. Like, no one is great at no one is good at everything. Everyone has things that they're not the best at. And for someone who's leveled up, and especially if you are leveled up in appearance and you've got talent, you're funny, you're a triple, quadruple threat, as soon as they find something that you're not good at, it's the biggest joke to them because it truly amuses them that you're not good at this one thing that they can fixate on to alleviate the hate that they feel towards you, because they feel like deep down, they feel like you're Mrs. Perfect, you can do all this and that. When in reality, we're all human. None of us are great at everything. We all have faults. We all have burdens. We all have responsibilities. And we all have different stories. Another sign that I've noticed if someone's envious of you is they invalidate your experiences. I've had people, I'm a really good listener. And even if I don't F with you heavy, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to give you the best advice ever because that's just what I do. And I would do this. And whenever I would be having a bad day, and I would express what I'm going through, serious things that I was going through. Some people, instead of comforting me, would take the opportunity to invalidate those things as if I'm not human too. Like, my problems aren't that big of a deal when they are very much a huge deal. They will minimize those really horrible things you're going through. They'll minimize your struggles. They'll minimize your tower moments because they really don't because they don't like you. They don't like you at all. You could be having a horrible day. You could tell them how horrible your day was going, and they will tell you to brush it off and smile like a fucking robot. Like I'm sorry. I can't have feelings. I can't express emotions. Like, I can't feel sadness. Like, what the hell is some of them will even get pissed off that you are expressing emotions. Like, it's freaking crazy. And I don't think people realize when they're doing this. It's like a subconscious thing. Like, when you're feeling envious, it's up to that individual person to clock themselves. Or like, they won't even realize when they're being insensitive, when they're invalidating you, when they're making huge deals about small things. It's a very dangerous emotion. Dare I say, I feel like envy is a freaking demon. Because some people will kill. Some people will poison those that they're envious of. And it's never that serious. It is never that serious. I've had people who are envious of me do things that completely took them out of character. And when I pointed it out, they literally could not explain themselves, as if something took over their body. I'm gonna get to my best advice to how to deal with envious people at the end of the video. Another sign that someone's envious of you is the way they look at you when they think you're not looking. Like, the way they look at you when you first walk into a room. People can't help their facial expressions. People can't help their facial expressions sometimes. So they don't even realize they're giving you a dirty look. And when they catch themselves, it's quick, but you can catch it right away. You know, see how people look at you when you walk in a room. See who starts frowning. See who gives you a dirty look. If you look at them after them giving you a dirty look, they're, hey. But no, like, keep that same energy. Like, look at how their faces look when you're telling them good news. And, you know, granted, sometimes people are going through things, and like, if you're going through something and someone announces how great life is going for them, of course that's gonna hurt. You know, of course you're not gonna be like, when you're literally struggling. So like, I get that. Keep that in mind. Like, if someone's going through it and you're like, I just made this huge achievement, like, don't expect them to be like chipper if they're like depressed. But pay attention to how they look at you when you're telling them good news. Like, if everything's good and chipper with them and you're telling them how you just made an accomplishment, if they're looking funky, if they're looking like, and it's gonna be quick, because some of them know that they're hating on you and they want to hide it. Clock it. You don't have to confront them, but keep in mind and really pay attention to people's facial expressions, because sometimes it says exactly how they feel about you. I remember I had a manager that would make the most angriest face and would like look so disturbed whenever I was bonding with customers and whenever I made customers laugh. Sometimes he was like impressed, but sometimes I would see him, I'd catch him giving me a dirty look as if he was triggered by me being able to make the customers laugh and the customers loving me. And he would do the same when I was bonding with coworkers. He would split us up whenever we were having conversations, but then when he was having conversations and like, you know, having his little kikis with workers, it was fine. Whenever people were kikiing, it was fine. When I was kikiing, and I'm not a loud person, I'm very demure. I can be loud when I want to. I'm very demure. So it's like, I would have some workers that loved me so much. We went out after work. Ew. I remember one time, and I'll never forget it, a worker went to Starbucks and she got me one of my favorite drinks from Starbucks, and she came in with 2 drinks and handed me one of the drinks, and I'll never forget the look on this manager's face. He looked so angry. I felt uncomfortable. I felt like I was in danger. That's how angry this man looked, because people were showing me love, and it could be that simple, and they're pressed. It's written all over their face.
And I just want to really highlight that envy isn't just about beauty. People can be envious of anything. I really want you to recognize the things that you have that other people don't, that may stir up envy. Because for me, I didn't realize it until it was too late, because I didn't realize that people were envious of the everyday things in my life. People could be envious that you have a good relationship with your parents. People could be envious that you have talent. People could be envious that you're an influencer. Even if you're not a big influencer, people could be envious that you have the balls to film yourself and post it online. People could be envious that people like you, that you're not socially awkward, that you have charisma, of your hair texture, that men stare at you and fumble their words around you, that you're optimistic and you can alchemize any bad situation. People could be envious that you take care of yourself, that you respect yourself. People could be envious that you have a good relationship with your siblings. It's crazy the things people could be envious of. So really be on high alert and don't give people the benefit of a doubt. Envy is an emotion that everyone feels. It's just a matter of clocking it. It's a matter of self-regulating and being honest with yourself. And not many people are honest with themselves. Some people don't want to do that inner work. They want to spew it out on everybody and have the mess that's going on in their head be everyone else's mess. To share a time that I've had to clock myself with envy, I had a close friend in the past that would sleep around a lot. She would have a new guy in her apartment every other day, and she'd always share with me her sexcapades. And even though that's not my thing, I'm not comfortable sleeping around with just anyone, I noticed I was triggered because I wasn't getting any. I wasn't getting any at the time. And soon as I noticed that trigger, I immediately clocked it. And the envy went away once I self-regulated and really had a conversation with myself about what I was feeling, why I was feeling it, and what I could do about it. The problem is a lot of people don't want to own up to the envy they have, and it just festers and becomes insidious when it's unchecked.
And I never sign that someone's envious of you. This is the last one I'm gonna share for this video. I'm probably gonna do a part 2 specifically on signs that guys are envious of you. Of course, all of these can apply to guys, but I want to specifically address men, because men will literally pretend to like you. They'll sleep with you. They'll have children with you. and they don't even like you. And they'll do it on purpose because they don't like you, because they're envious of you. And we've got to be alert and clock it. So make sure to like this video and have your post notifications on so you don't miss out on that one when I post it. Another sign that someone's envious of you is that they'll make everything you do somehow about them. Like whenever you're sharing an experience, somehow it circles back to them. You can never have a moment. And of course, it could just mean that someone's a bad listener, but it's also a sign that someone's envious of you. And it can also relate to, it can be the same thing as someone just simply not validating your feelings. They will invalidate your feelings by simply not even addressing them and changing the topic. You can express to them, I'm so stressed, business has got me like no sleep, and they're like, oh, well, I'm going through this, and that, and this. So instead of being like, oh, that must be horrible, like, you don't even have to give advice. Just like just validating and just like being there for someone can make such a huge difference. And like, we could sometimes do this ourselves, not even on some envious. We're just like in our own head of our own things. And it's really important to hear people out when they're crying, because all we really need is comfort, and it's such a stab. It's such a punch in the face when you're like finally opening up, to someone about something you're struggling with, and they're just like, next topic. Like, the fuck?
In regards to how to deal with envious people once you spot them, is to simply don't deal with envious people. Keep it quick and cute, because a lot of people, specifically women, what I've noticed is that some women who know they don't like someone will befriend you just to get information from you, to then go and talk junk about you, to then go and try to ruin your reputation, to then use it against you. They want as much information as they can get from you, so they will try to become friends with you just to self-soothe themselves with your faults and your problems, just to have something to talk about on their lunch break with other people who don't like you for no reason. Some people will literally befriend you to find reasons to dislike you. And if you are as amazing as you seem, if let's say it's not an act, you actually are a good person, that makes them even angrier. So I used to try to move past it. I used to give people the benefit of a doubt, and those people would go back and tell other people my business and paint me in a negative light and just use everything that I would open up about against me. Like I said, I truly feel like envy can become a demon. It can become something that can possess you, and that's extremely dangerous. It could be your best friend. It could be your own mother. Once envy gets a little bit too out of hand, if they're not clocking themselves and if they're unstable, now you're in danger, because you want to give someone the benefit of a doubt. When someone shows you how they feel about you, believe them. And it could be really disheartening when you haven't done anything to them. You're not doing anything wrong at all, and they're choosing to hate on you. But it's not your job to try to show them who you are, to try to prove to them that you aren't this narrative that they're trying to paint you as, to try to like make them like you. They've already decided they don't like you. Let them not like you from a distance. Don't let these people play in your face, because their goal is to mess it up. Their goal is to mess up your life, so you can't give them access to it. And if you have to have them in your life, keep it quick and cute is my best piece of advice. Let me know if you guys have any pieces of advice with dealing with envy in the comments. If you've dealt with envious people, oftentimes it's like the closest people to us, and that's the most devastating thing. But we need to be alert, we need to clock it, and we need to stop giving people the benefit of a doubt, because that is what gets us hurt in the end.
And I will see you in the next video.